Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, August 15th, 2014. You can follow us on Twitter at CATEX TV. Well, the race riots in the Missouri suburb of the St. Louis, Missouri suburb of Ferguson seem to have abated. Yesterday, several steps were taken. President Obama went on television saying that racial tensions such as this were unacceptable and people needed to be treated with respect. The governor of Missouri, Jay Nixon, switched oversight of the protests to the State Highway Patrol, taking it away from the local Ferguson Police Department. One of the interesting things that came out of this yesterday in the American media was that since the terror attacks in 2001, local police departments have had access to huge supplies of military surplus equipment, such as armored personnel carriers, small tanks, M16s, various other things. And since the U.S. military has fought 2 wars in the past 12 years, there is plenty of military surplus to go around, and it's free. As a result, these local police departments are stocked to the max. They're like small armies. Last night, things were completely different. The police were not present in force. They were not present wearing military outfits and camouflage vests and bullet protectors and visors. They actually marched with the protesters. The mood was decidedly different. The news media is commenting on that, as are the people who are protesting the shooting of the unarmed African-American 18-year-old male. Things seem to have gone back to normal there. Kudos all around to everybody. The Aon Benfield Impact Forecasting Unit is saying that the torrential rains that led to flash flooding across the United States last week are going to potentially lead to millions of dollars of claims. The report said insurers have reported that a fairly high volume of claims are being filed due to sewer backups, flooded basements, and flooded vehicles. It was quite a storm. Actually, it went through in a number of different segments. They saw more than 6 inches of rainfall in major metropolitan areas, including Detroit, Baltimore, and Long Island. Also, the Southwest was not immune. On the 12th of August, the city of Phoenix received 4.5 inches of rain, which is actually unbelievable considering it's the desert. The Munich Re subsidiary Ergo has acquired Greek insurer ATE Insurance for 90 million euros. Ergo said that it's convinced of the potential of the Greek insurance market, even though the economic situation of the country has been, quote, challenging for the past few years. That's an understatement. ATE recorded premium income of 170 million euros in 2013. 130 million euros of that was P&C insurance. Kenya Reinsurance reported a 6% rise in first half pre-tax income, up to 1.7 billion shillings. Net claims incurred also rose up to 2.1 billion shillings from 1.6 billion, but the company, as I say, still reported growth. Kenya Re is one of the most respected reinsurers in Africa. In Pakistan, things are a little bit squirrely today. Thousands of Pakistani opposition supporters are on the road right now, heading in 2 separate convoys to the capital of Islamabad for a massive rally meant to pressure the country's prime minister, asking him to resign over allegations of an unfair transfer of power from last year's supposedly rigged parliamentary elections. Against all of this, in the background, there was a significant attack at a military airbase near the southwestern city of Quetta yesterday. 10 attackers were killed when security forces thwarted the attack. A number of bombs were exploded on the base, and automatic weapons fire ensued. Here's an interesting story being reported by Bloomberg. The city of Tokyo, which has a river running through it, as you probably noticed if you've been there, has been prone to extensive flooding, especially in the wake of Typhoon Halong, for example. What the Japanese are doing is, since there's a space constraint in Tokyo, they are digging under the city to create underground reservoirs, essentially acting as rain catch basins. The one they're working on now is scheduled to be completed in 2016. It's going to cost $250 million. It's going to have a 2-mile reservoir, which is going to be able to handle 135,000 cubic meters of water. This is enough to fill 54 Olympic-sized swimming pools, according to a scientist at the University of Illinois, Japan has no choice. With the lack of space they have to come up with some kind of ingenious way of trapping the floodwater. It's exactly the kind of thing you would expect with global warming. So other cities may try to replicate Tokyo's system for dealing with floods, such as Hong Kong and Singapore. They're obvious candidates because they too have space constraints. There was another natural gas explosion caused by a pipeline rupture in Taiwan today. This one killed one person. The latest explosion took place around noon in a residential building in the northern Taiwanese city of New Taipei. It killed a small child. The police have evacuated the building, and they have actually shut down the gas to the building, they announced. 2 weeks ago, multiple blasts in the southern city of Kaohsiung killed 30 people as a result of a gas explosion. The next time you're in a plane, you should keep an eye out for that sinking feeling. Apparently on Brussels-bound Jet Airways Boeing 777-300, flight 228, last week, flying at an altitude of 34,000 feet, the plane suddenly dipped down to 29,000 feet. That's about a mile. The co-pilot, who was in charge of the plane at the time, probably actually nodded off, according to reports, as did the captain who was sitting next to him. According to aviation rules, only one of the pilots is allowed to sleep. The incident happened in Turkish airspace, and Ankara Air Traffic Control were quick to observe it, and they immediately radioed to the plane, which did respond after several minutes, and waking up both pilots and brought the plane back up to altitude. According to reports and surveys conducted by the International Air Pilots Union, more than 50% of pilots have fallen asleep on the flight deck. The poll went on to say that 56% of those who admitted to sleeping had awakened to find that the other pilot was also asleep. That's not good. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. In the meantime, have a very good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching.